Welcome back to the Hidden the Turnbuckle podcast. Ignite Wrestling presented the end game, and boy, oh boy, did a lot go down on that show. We'll get into it all now. I just want to firstly thank everyone that attended 96 Shenley Road yesterday. It was packed, absolutely packed to the rafters. Some new faces. Good to see the Ministry of Wrestling guys. Always great to see John and Harry. They're always there. They're Ignite stalemates, stalwarts, whatever you want to call them. Ignite. Sharon was there as well with her boys. Liam from Essex WrestleView brought his boy. Happy birthday again, young man. I hope you had a great show. I hope you enjoyed a great show yesterday. So it was great to see so many fresh and new faces, and hopefully you will be back at the next show when Ignite announce it. Anyway, let's get on with the action. And we kicked off with our championship, the Hitting the Turnbuckle Championship. Champion Chris Aries against Denzel Mack. Denzel Mack is massively over with the fans at 96 Shenley Road. He was definitely the fan favorite. Aries, Mr. Happy, still hasn't. Well, actually, I think he smiled in the picture that I took with him. I don't know if that was a sarcastic one or not. New theme for Chris Aries as well. And on the basis of themes, and just a quick slight aside, if any wrestler out there is looking for a new theme and you want an artist to have a go at doing your theme, well, I know two of them. And they have about 15 million downloads worldwide. And they've done themes for wrestlers, they've done themes for promotions. So you hit up David Bartolome Music or Will Scar with 3R, so WILLSCA on Instagram and they can you can have a conversation with them. But yeah, Chris Aries' theme is very much Roman Reigns-esque with a piano in the background. You're kind of coming up against, and in many ways, he is the final boss at Ignite because he's the man that's won it all, the breakout, the Ignite Championship in the same year, and he's now the Hitting the Turnbuckle champion. And as much as I dislike him, he is a great champion, albeit with help from Mr. O, who joined him again at ringside, and Mr. Scurro did make his presence felt in this matchup as well. But really great competitive match on this. And Denzel, he's got the heart of a warrior for a reason, and he didn't back down like his song says. And as much as Chris Aries was throwing at him, he took it in abundance and he certainly gave back. And there was a few occasions in this when Denzel looked to have the match potentially won. But unfortunately for him, he come up a little bit short. That final boss of Ignite Wrestling, Chris Aries, delivered a very, very horrific looking Sister Abigail. Luckily enough, Denzel was okay from it because it was a very, well, from where we're at my managed point, it was whew, very impactful to say the least. And Chris Aries retains the championship. But I have an idea who I want to face Mr. Aries next, and it will be a returning face to Ignite Wrestling if we manage to get it all signed. I need to talk to Mr. GM, who's recovering a bit more than that in a minute after what happened yesterday. But nevertheless, Chris Aries wins the match. Very, very well, very much congratulations to Mr. Aries. But your next opponent, I know, is a real. I mean, Denzel was a real threat to the championship, but this next opponent is one that I think. Well, assuming we get it done, the next opponent is going to be someone who is going to pose a real threat to your championship. Now, in from there, we had a women's contest. Now, we must stress and we point out here that Luna again couldn't make this show, and Ignite had to change the match at 2 days' notice. So very much not an ideal circumstance to having to reach, do a match with 2 days' notice. it was my show last time, or my match last time I had to do it. So, and it's not the first rodeo. It's not the first time that the Ignite, had to make the changes. It probably won't be the last, but it's difficult to do. However, look, Violet Knight was always scheduled to be on the show. She demanded an opportunity. She still demanded an opponent. But in this case, Chris or CJ Carter didn't just give her one opponent. She gave him two. He gave him two. And both with the same, in a lot of ways, with the same name. We had Abby Cartwright and Abby Gow in there. So it was a very interesting contest between the three. The three definite differences of styles in there. Violet is she's a striker. She's a dangerous striker. It was a bit difficult to see that in this match because it's a triple threat. Obviously, a lot of moving parts to this. Um, we didn't get to see the full array of what Violet can do in this, but I'm looking forward to seeing her back. I'm hoping she is back at Ignite because with Violet, you certainly got somebody there that can make an impact at Ignite. Very, very much so, in my opinion, anyway. It's an opinion shared by quite a few people that I spoke with that they want to see Violet back, even though she didn't really, like the fact that she was in Borehamwood, let's be honest. But she's a talented young lady, that's for sure. And listen, Abby Cartwright and Abigail, both talented in their own right, both different styles, very enjoyable triple threat match to say the least. Again, triple threat match, it is hard to really kind of showcase everything because there, as I said, there's moving parts to this. But they've done really, really well considering the fact that again, this match wasn't happening until the Thursday or the Friday of, the show was yesterday, Sunday. So 2 days to put, to kind of put a new match on the show and three people who I don't even think have faced each other before, or at least if they have done, not many times. But anyway, it was Abigail that perhaps surprised everybody with a black hole slam to Abby Cartwright. Sorry, to Violet, I think it was actually, to pick up that victory. So it was a really surprising one for me personally. Um, I thought Violet was going to win this all day long. So the fact that Abigail pulled out the victory was a big surprise. It was a welcome surprise. But there, ultimately, the job was done from Abigail. So maybe she'll be back. I want to see all three back, to be honest with you. I think they all offer something different to the table. But I'm very keen to see, and this isn't a hit at Abigail or Abby Cartwright, but I really want to see Violet back at Ignite because I believe that she has definitely something there that can really make a difference to what Ignite already have. So kudos to the three ladies, though, to put on a match like that with very much short notice and perhaps the first time you guys have ever competed in this against each other. So yeah, very, very well done in putting that together. First half main event was the returning EM0. It was great to see Jack Landers and Ted say every time I see Jack, he gets bigger in terms of size. He's so deceivingly big. And Ted Saban, who I've known for many many years now, he's bulking up a little bit as well. It was great to see EM0 back against Harry and Marv from the Rebellion, that being Ryan Curran and Tom Mercer. To be fair, Tom's more like the Harry, even though Harry's just no Marv. Is it Harry? Whoever the smallest one is on Home Alone, that's Tall Tom. So it's quite weird, and yeah, it's Marv's the other one. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that is it. So Tall Tom's Harry from Home Alone. So the smallest one's the biggest one in this case, and Marv is Ryan Curran, uh, who's the smaller one of the two of the group. Anyway, Dumb and Dumber, call them whatever you want. Um, and this was fun. This was really, really good. The Rebellion shouldn't have even been there, to be quite honest with you. If we remembered everything that happened at the last show, I was really surprised that General Manager CJ Carr had them even in the building, let alone competing in this. And again, more on that later. But yeah, this was a really good tag match actually. EM0 always they're so innovative in what they do in that ring, and I seriously enjoy watching them wrestle. I hope in the future. That actually, I hope I know for a fact in the future they will be back at Ignite because they just are great as a tag team, innovative. They do some great stuff together, and I think because there is such a sort of clash between Jack, who's this tall, you know, really sort of bulky guy, and Ted, who's that quick, shorter and shorter framed, but quick, impactful, Darby Allen-esque, what I would call Ted. Um, and it was it was a really great tag, and the Rebellion offers, as much as I don't like them, offers something different. Tall Tom, for a big 6'7" guy, can move. Ryan Curran is a great as a single. He's like a Jesus. I'm going to really compliment him here. He's a bit like Arn Anderson. If you had like a four horseman faction, he would be your enforcer. Not because he's like, the biggest or he's just because that's what I look at him as the rebellion. He is the Arn Anderson of the rebellion. Again, he is more like Marv from Home Alone, but looking at this way, that's a great way of putting it. And they done this great spot where Tom threw Ted off the top rope into Ryan Curran, who caught him and spine busted him. It was a real incredible moment in there, and kudos to all four. But it was unfortunately the Rebellion. I think it's Tool Tom, maybe one of his first wins at Ignite Wrestling. That's certainly tag team wise. Has he won a match before? Do you know? I can't even remember. Ryan Curran hasn't lost at Ignite yet, and he's only been there 2 matches. But he hasn't lost at Ignite. He's single in the breakout finals, of course, and now as a tag. And you have to kudos them because they're winning. So it is what it is. But yeah, a really good tag match to end the first half. First half main, really put on a strong one there. And congratulations are in order to Harry and Marv for getting the job done. That's for sure. Look, it was a good, nice little interval at that point, and boy, oh boy, did Ignite bring the fire to the second half of this show. It started with an absolute banger. We had a triple threat match. Now, if you listen to our preview that I done with CJ Carr, I said that this match could potentially steal the show. And in my opinion, it did steal the show. This was Corey McRae. This was Danny Black deputizing for Tommy Kyle, who we hope is okay. We look forward to having you back, TK. That's for sure. And Jaden Williams, Mr. Swift Sonic himself, and who he'd actually cut a really good promo actually on his on his Instagram before this. Listen, he's 0-3, I believe, at Ignite. He hasn't won a match yet. Ignite, but boy, did he give it. I mean, it was Danny Black and Corey McRae. And I said this during the match to CJ Carr. I want to see a one-on-one between Danny and this isn't a disrespect to Jaden, by the way. I want to see a one-on-one between Danny and Corey. They went through a stage in this match where they got rid of Jaden and they just went at it. And I'm sitting there going, this match on its own would main event could main event anywhere in Brit Wrestling. Simple as that. I mean, to be honest, the triple threat match could as well, but slight aside to that, Danny and Corey could main event anywhere in the Brit Wrestling with that limited time that they put together this single bit while Jaden was outside. It was amazing. Jaden added again. He adds something. It's a bit hard to kind of say what the style of Jaden because I've seen him change it up a lot. He can work different styles. He can work different matches. The crowd hate him as well. I mean, that's another great thing. The crowd absolutely despise the guy, um, which is another thing. But all three brought it in this second half. It was an absolute incredible, incredible match. And Danny Black, he got not eliminated, but he got thrown out. Corey hit Black Mass and finally brought back that package power driver because boy, oh boy, we were screaming for it. I missed him not doing that package power driver in the matches, and he absolutely delivered it and picked up yet another win. Now, Corey, former longest reigning Ignite champion, he's on a winning roll. I mean, yes, he's come up a bit short on a couple of occasions when he's had the champ, do an opportunity, but he's got to be knocking on that door very, very, very soon. That's Corey McRae, and it's a job for CJ Carr. That's a job for Mr. GM to look at who's next in line for the Ignite Championship. So we'll see. But actually, that brings me to a good point now because uh, as our good friend Chase Anthony, deputising for the wonderful Sunset Skip, was talking about the next show, all of a sudden, out comes Taylor James, meathead himself. Come out and well, called out CJ Carter for want of a better phrase. He's still not happy that, he is the man that's always here. He's turned down bookings elsewhere. And I don't like to agree with Taylor, but that is actually true. There has been international opportunities that have presented himself to Taylor on days that Ignite have run, and he has indeed turned those opportunities down. So, on that note, I would say yes, where other people, and we've seen it, other people have gone, he has stayed here. He was been on the show since day one. He feels disrespected by CJ Carter because CJ Carter, it took him a while to give Taylor an opportunity at the World Championship. And when Taylor won that World Championship, Taylor James feels that he was screwed in many ways because every match was a triple threat. Well, look, you're the champion. What I would say to that as a rebuttal is as a champion, you have many targets on your back, Taylor. You should know that because you've been the hunter. You didn't like being the hunted. Let's get this straight. And you didn't like the fact that you had multiple targets on your back. Well, as champion, you have to navigate that. The reality is, as CJ Carter pointed out, is when this was presented to you, a little bit like your football club, my friend, you choked and you choked and you choked and you lost your championship to Tommy Tanner. You can blame Chris or CJ Carter, you can blame me, you can blame the Ignite audience. The reality is, even with Harry and Marv, your boys at ringside, you buckled under the pressure of being world champion. Maybe, just maybe, being world champion isn't for you. Because a champion normally always finds a way to win, my friend. Anyway, with that being said, Taylor was goading CJ Carter for a match. We all know CJ Carter cannot wrestle. It is doctors have told him that he is not able to wrestle. He should not get back in that ring. But no, CJ Carter, of course, playing to the fans, and the fans wanted to see it. There was a couple of people that didn't, me being one of them, Dan being another, Rachel being another, and more importantly than that, Chris's wife, Charlie, was somebody that didn't want that to happen. She was outside the ring saying to Chris, "You cannot compete." And then Taylor uses low-hanging fruit to basically say that he wasn't man enough and the most manliest person in the relationship was Charlie. In other words, Chris's balls is in her purse, is basically what he was indicating. Now, Taylor had brought out the rebellion, who was on either side of the apron. At this, Chris had said to them to get out the ring, which they did. But at this point, and when Chris heard that last comment, he snapped. He then basically buckled Taylor, started going in, laying into him. That brought in Ryan and Tom. They pulled Chris off. And instead of just pulling him off, they fed him to Taylor James, who hit not one, but two fidget spinners on a man who cannot compete inside the wrestling ring. And they were seemingly very proud of their work. But as they were walking up the apron, CJ Carter took that microphone and he said that at the next show, it's going to be the Rebellion versus CJ Carter and two partners of his choosing. Again, and I've said this to Chris personally, I've said it to him on a podcast. I do not agree with him getting in that ring. I do not want him in that ring. I know the fans do. I know that he does because he's booking the match. But I'm more concerned about the person than I am the match. And perhaps the Rebellion got exactly what they wanted out of this, which was CJ Carter to put himself in danger, which is exactly what he's done. So perhaps the Rebellion have won this, but I can assure you, boys, you've just signed your own death warrants at Ignite Wrestling. Now there is stipulations in this match, and the stipulations are thus: if Taylor James wins, he gets an opportunity again at the Ignite Wrestling Championship. If Taylor James loses, the Rebellion are gone forever. From Ignite Wrestling, that is. I can't wait to have the Rebellion gone forever at Ignite. The dressing room will be better. There won't be any arrogance walking around upstairs at Shenley Road. It will be great to have a Rebellion-free Ignite. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Anyway, so we'll see what happens with that one coming up. But on top of that, we then move to the breakout. Now, the breakout was a bit more personal to me because for the last 8 months, I have been scouting these two individuals. They both impressed me at one of the shows that I went to mid to late last year. I've seen them on 3 or 4 occasions since, and they have done nothing but impress me. I recommended them to Chris or CJ, and he looked at it online. He looked at the videos I sent them, and he was like, "Yep, bring him in. We'll bring him in." It was in the breakout. It was the Juice, AJ Payne. It was Regan Blade, and they put on a great match. What I like about AJ is he's a very psychological wrestler. He is very much, I'm going to target a body part. That body part is going to be mine for this show. I'm going to strike that body part. I'm going to do everything I can to weaken that body part, and then I'm going to make you tap out. Regan, on the other hand, is he's just like a Jeff Hardy. Everyone loves him. He pulls out some moves. He done a cannonball off the stage in this match. He really, it looked. I mean, we were at the back like, holy smokes! It was a great, great cannonball. These two boys, look, it was their debuts. Some of the crowd had seen them before, obviously, because they get around the circuit. Liam, I know, had seen them before. I think some of the other people in the audience had seen them before at some other shows, so they knew what they were getting. It was hard hitting. It was exciting. It was what I call, without being I know you know my TNA's relationship, but it was an impact match because there was a lot of impact. There was some hard hitting. AJ was targeting, I think it was the arm or the shoulder of Regan in this, and there was an amazing transition in this match. Regan, look, being a high flyer, being exciting, will always go to that top rope. You know that saying, you go to the well one too many times and you get caught? That's exactly what happened. Regan went to the top again. But the transition into, I think it was I can't remember if it was the triangle choke or something that AJ done was a thing of beauty. But he then reversed that into, I think it was like a Fujiwara arm bar or some kind of arm bar. It was difficult to see. I'm right at the back, so I you can only see a certain amount. But it was just an incredible reversal into it. And Regan, unfortunately for him, tapped out. Nevertheless, and that got AJ Payne through to the finals of the breakout in November. So congratulations to AJ. Regan, there is no shame in losing that because fans loved you. We loved you. We loved AJ as well. AJ will be back obviously for the breakout finals. Regan, you will 100% be back, but you done me, look, you done me proud, okay? And that's the regardless of whether that means anything to you both, is it shouldn't do because I always say this before because I'm scouting wrestlers and stuff like that. It's my taste, right? I have to, it doesn't mean that my taste is going to agree with anybody else's, but if anything, you done me proud. But listen, the feedback that I've got from the people that watched it, I asked specific people to provide me feedback in it. They all enjoyed it. Boss man enjoyed it. So there you go. I think it's safe to say you'll be back at Ignite. And AJ, you definitely will be back at Ignite for the breakout finals. Main event time. And it was another member of CPF, Joe Lando, going for Ignite Championship gold against a man who has had an eventful couple of days. The Ignite champion, Tommy Tanner, fresh, well, I say fresh, but off of his tryout with the WWE. Um, Joe Lando landing from Germany that morning. To give you an idea, boys, these gentlemen were very, very tired. And but kudos to them. They still come here, they still done it, and they still put on an incredible main event. The fans were so split in this as well, and that's what I kind of like. Tommy Tanner had the majority. There's no doubt. Tommy Tanner had the majority of this. There was no question about that. It was probably a 60-40, 65-35 split in favor of Tommy Tanner with the crowd. But Joe weren't getting booed. I mean, let me get that straight. He wasn't getting booed at all. But it was a bit of a split in favor of Tommy Tanner, in my opinion. These two were fantastic. Considering the last few days that they've both had to put on a match of that quality in there was absolutely brilliant. Again, kudos, bro. And Danny Black actually, I gotta say, Danny Black, same thing for Danny. He come back from Germany as well, and he was in that triple threat. My match of the night, to be honest, with you. This was second, and the breakout was first, in my opinion, anyway. They put on a great, great match. And there was times in this when Joe looked like he may have had this one. Tommy Tanner's first defense, of course, of the Ignite Championship. But Tommy Tanner with the phenomenal forearm. And that's the thing with Tommy. He's got so many moves that he can bring out of his arsenal to get a job done. He's got the phenomenal forearm. He's got the 450. There's another one that he does that he can do. I mean, there was some incredible sort of like counters in this as well. But going back to what I was going to say, Tommy Tanner with a phenomenal forearm gets the job done and retains the Ignite Championship. Fantastic main event and big, big thank you to both, or to all of the wrestlers. But for the days that you guys have had to come and get put on a main event of that quality, thank you very much. And Tommy Tanner, congratulations. Joe Lando, your time will come. I am sure of it. It was a great, great night at Ignite Wrestling. I'm still very, very tired from it. It's been a long month. April's been a busy month here on the Hitting the Turnbuckle, and we've got no way of slowing down at the minute. There's a couple of interviews that I'm just literally, one definitely happening this week, one I'm finalizing for the week as well. We've got a lot more to come. So you follow Ignite Rest Pro at Ignite Rest Pro or Ignite. Let me just get all the. I know it's Ignite Rest Pro on socials, Ignite Rest Pro on Facebook, and of course I'm just going to get the Instagramio up. Uh, Ignite Wrestling Pro on Instagram, and all the information on the next show will be available when it comes out. So keep an eye on that. I will get it on the Hitting the Turnbuckle stuff as well once I know. So make sure that you are following us at HTT Buckle everywhere. We'll be back, obviously, a stacked week this week. Let me just have a look at the schedule list. What's coming out this week, so that you guys can all obviously the review shows will be out this week as usual. But being released this week, Dallas Dash, the CCP champion, which it was great. It was a great conversation to have with Dallas. I literally interviewed him fresh off of that win last week. So was a week or so ago, the interview, but he's out tomorrow. We're going to be here with the top 10 cruiserweight champions. Myself, Michael, and David's list of the top 10 cruiserweight champions will also be out this week. And Independent Showcase debuts in Canada. Yes, as we interview Katrina Creed this week as well. We've got a lot more. Billy Starks will be released next week, so have a look at that. Go and have a look at the TNA exclusive playlist. Lots of it. Victoria Crawford, the former Alicia Fox, is the latest one on the interview list. So go and check it down there as well. And again, follow us at HTT Buckle everywhere. And until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.